What is good, everybody? It is time for another anime retrospect. We're going to be looking at the winter 2023 season and everything I watched during that time. Just giving some quick thoughts on each of these shows. So I have my anime list pulled up. That way we can get into it. In fact, unlike other times, I'm going to just pull it up. So here we go. We're gonna be looking at Tomo-chan is a girl. This one right here is really good. I quite enjoyed it. It was very cute, just seeing all the different situations that they ended up getting into, and and just seeing the relationships kind of build between all of them and how they change dynamics when they understand each other's feelings and all that good stuff. And I enjoyed it in both sub and dubbed. Like, both versions were mad hilarious, and yeah, the dialogue is awesome. Love it. And up next, let's see what we got next. Nier Automata is not over yet, so but what I've seen of it so far is pretty cool. The small changes in there are interesting, but I'll talk a little bit more about it when they actually do finish the Nier Automata. Up next, the Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten. This one was also just super sweet. It's just a simple little wish fulfillment romance kind of thing, where you just really see them awkwardly get super close to each other but not realize, hey, you guys are basically like dating by now, so you should probably just start dating and admit you have feelings for each other. But it was still really cute to watch them get close and just fumble through it all. So yeah, quite enjoyed that. I have not finished Bofuri, so that's why that's still here. Buddy Daddies. Buddy Daddies is another one that I ended up checking out that was really fun. I ended up recommending it to a couple of people, and they've all enjoyed it as well because it's just such a fun show. It's definitely in the same kind of vein as Spy Family, where it's like unconventional parenthood, and yeah, just seeing them develop different ideas of life once young Miri comes into their life, due to circumstance. Was very cute and a very believable child. Miri is so much a kid, and I love just how grounded in reality that she behaves, and one of my favorites of the season. Up next, we got, what's this one called? Reincarnated Princess and the Hero Magic Girl. You know which one I'm talking about. I don't know these Japanese titles. The Magical Revolution of the Reincarnated Princess and the Genius Young Lady. There you go. That was super cool show. Like, the premise, the world building, it would have been cool to see a little bit more of the world building, but they had to try and get to the action a whole lot. But even with that, it was super fun to watch. Quite enjoyed that. So yeah, digs it. The other one is the sorcerer reincarnated is the strongest, or something like that, or strongest exorcist, whatever you call it. This one was another little power fantasy isekai kind of thing, and it was pretty cool. Curious to see how this will continue, if they continue it, just to see what he's supposed to be doing in this new land he traveled to. Spoiler, sorry. Let's see. Up next, we got that I ended up watching. Yeah. The Adventurers Guild that don't trust each other, not ready to save the world, something like that. This was okay. It was a very interesting premise because it seems like there's magic, but it's also kind of in the like a post-futurist kind of thing because there's like machines from the past that are like super futuristic, but yet it's not like that. And it's a very interesting premise that could have been done a little bit better, which is why I kind of gave it a 6. It was entertaining enough for me to continue and finish, so there's that. Up next, Trigun Stampede. Great show. Great show. Still, a little like I have mixed feelings just due to it not being exactly like the original Trigun. People who don't know, Trigun is still considered my favorite anime of all time. I may have to really do some soul searching to like really determine what my favorites are nowadays, but I've always said that Trigun is my favorite anime of all time because I just really, really love the show and love Vash, and he's still pretty much the same character in this, but just the situations are somewhat different, and the way they handle it is definitely a different reimagining of that world, and so kind of getting used to that was tough, but it's still beautifully done. Studio Orange did really great with their 3D, and the camera work in it was really dope, and yeah, it's great. The details that they've included in this version of the world are interesting, and I'm curious to see how it will continue, especially since it's going to bring back possibly some fan favorite characters that weren't included in this season. What do I want to talk about next? I did start watching the Ice Blade dude thing. Dropped it. It just started getting too much. I ended up getting about halfway through it, so I may come back to finish it, but it just started not mattering to me as much to stay up to date with it. So there's that. But then Saito, the handyman in another world thing, that mug was super fun. It's he truly is just a regular handyman, and then the different comedic situations and the shorts that they have, and how they eventually all get connected and together, all these different parties and people in this world. It was really interesting. There's just a lot of interesting powers and world building and ridiculousness that was just all put out throughout the show, and it was a super fun experience. Then the Hero King reincarnated as the strongest soldier or something like that. That was fun as well. Another little reincarnation, somewhat isekai, not really isekai thing. It's just a pretty simple, fun OP situation, and yeah, the different characters and the way the world was being built up was kind of interesting, though somewhat convoluted, and so it was enjoyable enough, so I was able to finish it. Onimai, man, this one was really fun to watch. Just kind of seeing him in his new form as a little sister, kind of breaking out of his shell a bit and just kind of getting reintegrated into society. It does toe the line of getting kind of pervy, and which makes it a little bit hard to recommend sometimes, but if you can get past the moments where it's like, oh, this is wrong, they are all middle schoolers, this is strange, but they get really close to crossing the line, and that makes it somewhat difficult to recommend. But if you can get into the more heartfelt moments of the show, I digs it. Then we have kicked out of the chilling in my 30s, kicked out of the Devil's Army or whatever, the Demon Lord's Army. That one was very fun, ridiculousness, but still pretty fun, and I enjoyed watching it and seeing how the relationships formed. And there was a small, somewhat, it's not really a huge time skip, but there's like a small skip in time that I didn't expect to happen, but the things that ended up happening after post skip still led to some really interesting things. And yeah, that was another one that's just kind of fun little fantasies show. Up next, High Card is something that I sadly dropped, but when I feel like I can give it more of my attention, I'll come back to it, because it was actually rather interesting, dealing with the cards and all that good stuff, and the powers it gives them. It was an interesting idea, just not something that I decided to keep up with. So I will come back to it. Then Fruit of Evolution, season 2, absolutely train wreck of a show, but it's always been a train wreck of a show, but a fun train wreck to watch. So I watched all of it in dub form, because I feel like I know it probably pokes fun at itself in the original subbed, but I watched the first season dubbed, and so I just continued to wait for the dub for the second season, and I just feel like it pokes maybe even more fun at how ridiculous this show is. And so yeah, there's that. It was okay. It was okay. Let's see what's next that I can talk about. Saving up 80,000 gold from another world, something like that. This one was a very interesting premise, with her going back and forth between both worlds and just trying to save up money for her to retire. And so there's some cool economic stuff going on, and then there's some interesting action stuff too, and some political world buildings kind of somewhat stuff going on in the other world. So it was interesting to watch and entertaining enough. And so yeah, Revenger was another one I ended up watching, and this was a interesting kind of period piece, and just seeing how the people ended up dealing with the different contracts that they ended up getting, and then eventually uncovering a huge problem going on in Nagasaki, if I remember. I think it's in Nagasaki, that area, Japan, how the opium crisis kind of started, and them dealing with that. It was really interesting. The action was really cool. The fights too. So it was a entertaining watch. Ayakashi Triangle, another one that hasn't quite ended yet. This is most certainly an ecchi series, but so far it's been fun. So yeah, we'll talk more about that when it ends. What else is there? We gotta be getting close to all the ones that I've watched. I did start watching D4DJ All Mix, but then I just dropped it. I was like, you know what, I can't do it this time. I did watch the first season, and it was fun. But this time I was like, the direction they're doing it with, having different groups for each month that they're doing for the city was interesting, but I was like, I'm already watching so many shows. I'm not keeping up with this from week to week. So if I find some time, maybe I'll come back to it, just to enjoy some cool music and 3D models. Let's see. Is that everything? Yeah, that's got it. It has to be everything. Yeah, so, oh, dang. Nope. So, My Hero Academia, Season 6, OMG. bro. The way this mug is developing, super dope. Oh, the I think I got to talk about this last time, but the fight against Shigaraki, wow. And the way they attacked them, the Liberation Front, was dope. And then we ended up getting, more so in the wintertime, Vigilante Deku, and wow, that was an adventure. Just seeing him struggle and learn how to master more and more of his powers is, wow, really cool. And I can't wait to see how this continues, or maybe even concludes, because I think I heard that it's getting closer to the end of the series. But so far, really great. It's really well done, pretty well paced, and the powers still stay really dope, and seeing how creative they could be with it. So the last things that I want to mention is Agretzko. I finally watched the final season of Agretzko, and that was really, really cool. Interesting to see all the different directions it ended up going, with Haida and his situation that he went through, and then doing another turn in direction and focus somewhat, with Agretzko going more so in a political route. Like, I didn't expect that, and then how they tied that in somewhat to the situation that Haida went through, and it was very, very, very interesting and entertaining, and a cool way to end the Agretzko series, as it definitely is a mirror to Japanese society as a whole, and that analysis was definitely helped to be realized in tandem with the kind of explanation video from Gaijin Goomba on the series. So yeah, so I recommend that. Check out that his video on Agretzko, to even break down why it's so good. But I mean, I enjoyed it even without him explaining it, because I watched it before. I watched the show before I watched his video, and I still thought it was good. But anyway, next thing I want to bring out is also going to be a couple of movies that I saw. So ended up watching the Slime movie, and that was pretty cool. An interesting new land to kind of get used to, and just seeing just how OP Rimuru can be, and also the things that he can't do. There were a few Deus Ex Machina moments that I felt happened towards the end there, but it was still pretty entertaining to watch, and see a whole new world in the land that they are in. Then I also saw the second Sword Art Online progressive movie, and I thought that was really great. I still love how they're pacing themselves through Aincrad, because that's still one of the coolest worlds that Sword Art Online had to offer, and so I love that they're still slowing that down and kind of really going through it, and then still having Asuna as the centerpiece of it is also pretty nice, and then getting to learn more about some newer characters that weren't originally there is an interesting addition to the experience as well. Then the last movie that I saw was the Demon Slayer movie, and it basically ended up being like the end of the entertainment art district, along with like the first episode of the newest season, the Swordsmith Village arc, and so that was kind of disappointing to find out it was going to be just kind of those combined, but as it's airing now. I'm still really loving Demon Slayer, and we're getting into some real good stuff right now, because the demons have showed up. So yeah, really enjoying that. So let's go ahead and talk about what else is being watched right now. So outside of the Swordsmith Village arc, what else am I also watching? I'm watching Hell's Paradise, which is super dope so far. Like, whoa, action, so cool. The new Doctor Stones. This is also starting off really strong. So I'm curious to see what it's going to be like when they're finally able to set sail. Mashal is super fun. The comedy in it is really dope. It was fun to find out, oh, this is the same, made from the same creator of Soul Eater and such. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is gonna be super good. What else? The Yamada-kun level 999 thing. This is really sweet. I'm digging the way this mug is, the direction it's heading, with her, getting over a breakup by kind of getting to know this young man who just so happened to be in the guild as well, and happens to be a pro gamer, and but still super awkward in life. And so yeah, really interested to see how this is going to turn out. I'm hoping it ends well. Then Isekai cheat skill, another world, and can also use it in the real world. So far, pretty cool. Very interesting concept, especially since there's episodes in here that I wouldn't quite expect, because it's like, oh, we're focusing on the other world. Oh no, now we're in the real world. Oh, he's going to an elite school now, so he's okay. Oh, has a modeling thing. So far it's very interesting what they're doing with this, and how they're developing Yuya as a character. So yeah. I'm rewatching Ancient Magus Bride so I can actually get to the season 2 part. So as soon as I get to do that, I'll let you know. Let's see, what else am I watching? Reincarnated a second time. So far that's been pretty interesting. I do feel like there might be a missing opportunity with the way it went. After the second episode, I was like, oh, the whole class is there. Oh, it doesn't matter that the whole class is there. So yeah, Dead Mount Death Play, very interesting. Get a necromancer in the real world, so I'm curious how that's going to develop. My Home Hero so far has been really interesting, seeing how this kind of everyday man is kind of dealing with a circumstance that he probably should have avoided. So yeah, and dealing with the crime syndicates and stuff. Let's see what else we got that I'm watching. Not watching the Smartphone season 2, even though I watched the first season. What else is this? The the reincarnated as an aristocrat. This one here is pretty interesting. Just seeing how the power system works in this one is cool, so I'm curious to see how that's going to continue. This one here, what's the real name of this show again? Not the real, that sounds bad. The legendary hero is dead. Yuasha Gashinda is the real name, so please excuse me. With an English name, the legendary hero is dead. This show is pretty funny. I'm digging it so far. We'll see how that goes. This one, my one hit kill sister. It's funny so far. Nothing too groundbreaking, but it's, like I said, it's been funny enough so far. We'll see if they can build more than just the overdoting older sister bit. see if they can add more to that. The Magical Destroyers. This right here so far has been really interesting, and I like all the different references I've been picking up from like different shows and stuff. The thing that has impressed me about this so far is mainly the music. The music in the show is amazing. It's fantastic. It's phenomenal. I'm like, yo, as soon as this soundtrack drops, I need it. Especially the ending. I love the ending song, the Gospelian of love. I'm gonna just say Gospelian. I can't remember the exact title. I know it has love in it. By the 13th Taylor. That song is so good, so good. Love the ED on this. Then what else we got? Yuri is my job. this is pretty funny and interesting, and I'm curious to see how the relationships change, especially for how the journey of this situation changes the main character. I'm curious to see how that's gonna be. What else we got here that I'm currently watching? Well, yeah, that's pretty much it. I want to watch this, but I hope they dub. The fourth season of Golden Kamuy, because me trying to get into the fourth season when it aired, I was like, I'm so used to watching it dubbed. I don't like these voices. These voices are weird. But yeah, so that's what I'm currently watching, what I did watch, and my short thoughts on it. What are you guys thinking about this season so far? Put your thoughts in the comments. I'd greatly appreciate it. And don't forget, do have a Patreon, if you just want to support your boy. Thank you to those who are already doing so. If you would also like to support the other head of the blog, then go ahead and check out Muddy Colt Miko on Patreon, and you can support the head honcho. Okay, so yeah, that's gonna be everything I have to say to y'all. So until next season, much love, peace.